Okay, and I'm now recording so that I don't forget. Hello?
Hello. Hey, what's good?
I'm doing all right. What about you?
That's good. That's good.
Um, okay, so the most important thing here is I need you to tell me what you want to work on, what concept. We're gonna figure out exactly how we're going to practice it in the game, and then once you get into a game, I'm gonna spectate you and I'm gonna help you in the process, okay? So for that, I'm gonna need you to add me so I can check when you find a game and I can spectate it. Send the battle tag in the Discord chat.
Okay. I'm gonna be focusing on timing. That's the main thing I'm gonna be focusing on.
Perfect, perfect. So I already have knowledge on this because that's what we talked about in the coaching session yesterday. So now we can
Yes.
use this time to actually practice it live, which is great. Oh yeah. Also, if I already have you added and you're not online, I need you to be online. So there's also that.
It was the other account that I had you added on. I never had you added on this one.
Okay, okay. Perfect. Okay, I can see you now. So you can start queuing. And I guess the question that we can start with
Does
is
it matter which?
uh
I guess.
sorry. Oh yeah, it matters.
Does it?
Quick play, because otherwise I can
Okay.
spectate, and it also will be too long for the amount of people we have in the workshop waiting in queue.
Okay.
Um, so you want to practice timing. What exactly are you gonna be looking for timing wise?
I'm gonna be mainly just looking for when my tank goes in, because then after that I'll be able to sneak up on the back line and be able to deal with
Mm-hmm.
the back line fairly easily.
Sure, sure. Now you can engage backline. You can also engage the tank. It doesn't really matter who you engage. We're gonna be just only focusing on the timing here. So I don't care if you miss your shots. I don't care if your target priority is bad or whatever else, right? As long as your timing is good, that's it. That's what we're looking for, right? So we're gonna judge you based
Okay.
on your timing. That's gonna be the sole focus. So if you want to focus on the timing of your tank here as the main one, then sure, we can do that. For the most part, what I'm gonna be doing here is just being silent and letting you work. You don't necessarily have to narrate, but if I notice that, for example, you miss the timing cue for your tank engaging and you don't yourself engage when you can, I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna remind you with something like timing, right? That's all I'm gonna be here for. I'm just gonna be here in your ears, sometimes reminding you of the exercise if you forget. That's my role here. Any
Is
questions? And now I believe we just wait in queue until there's a game. Um, in the meantime, Jerno and Catsquouch, you can just think about which topic you want to work on. It's gonna be the same framework as we're doing right now with Rust Otter. Um, and overall, oh yeah, there we go. I found a game already. So,
Vote for a map.
how would positioning be on this map?
mm, I mean, what's Genji's range signature?
Close range, that's for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Mm-hmm. So are there close range angles on this map?
There's some, but
Mm-hmm. There you
also,
go.
yeah.
There you go. Right? There are some. Now, how easily you can reach those, that's a different question. So you might need to actually utilize some ideas such as timing
Genji,
to actually
let's
be
go
able
to
to
the
reach a
arcade after
flank,
this.
not necessarily
A
engage,
battle's end
right?
calls for meditation, not games.
But you have an idea
I
of
get
what
it.
kind of position you're
Everyone's
looking
scared
for.
to take on the best player in the
I don't know
world.
why I'm not able to spectate
Fine.
you right now. Let me
I'll-
try again. Was Overwatch buggy on login for anyone else? For some reason, like there was no update or anything like that, but when I tried to log in, it said that I was in queue and I had to wait for like 70 people to log in before me. It took like 5 minutes. I don't know what's up with it. One server crashed day, makes sense, okay. Alrighty, timing. All up to you now. There at the end you got a little bit lost in the sauce. You didn't know how many of your teammates were drawing attention. But at the start it was good. At the start it was good. D.Va goes in, you look to follow as you can.
Engaged. D.Va.
And this is where your tank was not able to push, right? Your tank was dealing with Bob, so everyone's attention was on you. So you shouldn't be looking to push really, you should just kind of be on standby, maybe even just poking, and waiting for that opportunity. So if you want, you can sit on a more passive angle if you want, just poking from range. The moment that you see your tank engage, that's a good opportunity. That was better. That was much better. Good. Can maintain the space for now. Wait for your tank to come back. Yep.
This is the end for you.
Shame, but that was good. Tank goes in, you go in. That's what you're looking for. Now in the meantime, especially when you're waiting for your tank for a long time, you can think about setting yourself up. So for example, taking a flank to get close to them. Good. Tank is in.
Careful, we're outnumbered. Goodbye. Boosting your damage.
Careful about the timing.
30 seconds remaining. Surrender to my will. Resetting Orisa.
A worthy upgrade.
Over here.
Nice.
Successful.
Rolling out.
This last engagement was very, very good.
Sometimes I'm not sure where I even
My spirit grows strong.
The payload has reached.
Yujin no ken wo kure! My spirit rises. I am restored.
Just be mindful that your team is on point.
Enhancing your vitals.
And there you go.
My ultimate is ready. Go.
Perfect. So you can look to do stuff while your team is not there, right? Your tank is not there. You just need to be mindful of the attention that's gonna be on you.
All systems on optimal level.
Kokoro wa ryu no kokoro. The payload is moving.
Unassailable prowess. Your carry is here.
Surrender.
We are outnumbered.
I'm climbing up.
Nice. Ooh, close.
Forward.
Okay. The timing overall is good. The main problem that I'm seeing right now is the positioning. So one thing I would highly recommend here, go through the left window. Your team is gonna go main, you're gonna go through the left window, that means you won't get shot on entry. So you're kind of just, yeah, this position right there. You're gonna try to take that position, and the moment that your diva is fighting their tank or whatever, then you can engage the backline.
60 seconds remaining. Expect the unexpected.
Your carry is here. Capabilities max. Nil Mushurula fall.
Duplicating
Team like your team won the fight.
Over here.
Help me.
Don't think they touch. Yeah, they don't. No. So for now, you're probably just gonna, you're not gonna be able to take space. So just sit and shoot, sit and shoot. If someone is low, if your tank engages, you can follow up. Just be mindful.
Rolling out.
Perfect. Wait here, wait here. Don't go yet. Don't go yet. Don't go yet. You need a good timing for this. You have a good position. You just need a trigger for it.
Do something. Activating self-destruct sequence. Come here, Toki.
Mindful, you're on your own. The teams are fighting. So better. I'm warning you in those situations because you're facing down a pocketed Ashe with a Kiriko there as well at range, and your team is still far back, right? This is why I'm cautioning you against engaging those situations. Close.
Unassailable prowess.
Nice. Very nice.
The payload progresses.
60 seconds remaining.
Perfect.
Sometimes I'm not sure why I even bother.
Now you don't have your tanks, you're gonna have to find an opportunity where they're distracted to blade. Have a good angle. Just wait for a distraction.
Heroes never die.
Do something!
Helden sterben nicht. Apagando las luces.
Catch you late.
Okay, we can leave the game now and quickly chat about it. So, how did you feel?
So this felt like a ranked game where I was constantly playing and constantly getting somewhere. It felt a bit better, but it felt like I was not winning at the same time.
Now, to be fair, it is a bit of an awkward map, especially if you don't necessarily know like the best flanks to take. A lot of it was just you standing main, which caused it to be really hard to engage, because you were always shot by the Ashe, right? You don't want to engage when low HP. So that's why I, for example, recommended the left side window on second point. On third point, you came up with a really good flank, right on like those stairs at the right side. Really good flank. You just messed up on the timing in that if you want to make that play, you need the Ashe to not be looking at you to engage. If she's looking at you, you're gonna be shot on entry, so you cannot engage anymore. So very, very important. Also, towards the end of third point, something I'm gonna mention, you had a lot of opportunities to blade. You don't need a big opportunity. Like, your tank going in is like a big flash you want to look out for, but an even better way to just like understand the timing of engagements is just if your opponents are looking at you or not, aka attention, right? So the Ashe is looking main, she's not looking at the flank, right? She's looking at your Moira. That's a timing window. Dash up, blade. That means that you won't be getting shot at during the blade pull. After that, yes, you will be shot, but you have deflect, you have dash, you have ways of outplaying the damage, right? And you're gonna be looking for those kills anyway, so they're not gonna be able to land as much damage on you. But for the most part, I liked what I saw on the looking at your tank and trying to synchronize your pressure. So on the timing side of things, it was good. It was just what made it awkward was a little bit of the map and also the positions that you took that made it hard for you to engage at times.
Okay, I see.
So I would recommend trying this on a few different maps, especially on ones that are a little bit better for Genji, maybe ones that you're more familiar with the good positions, and then finding not necessarily only windows of opportunities from your tank, although those are great, but also just opportunities where your opponents are not looking at you, right? If your opponents are not looking at you, that can be a good window of time to go in. If it's just an isolated 1v1 or something like that, you don't have to worry too much about like the big picture stuff. You can just take the engagements, right? But for the most part, this is it. This is how you practice it, right?
Okay. Yes.
Alrighty.
I didn't feel like I was practicing it at all. It felt like I was. Sometimes my mechanics are off.
That's why I mentioned that like we're not really that worried about the mechanics, right? We're only worried about the timing. So sure, the positioning would have helped with the timing, which is why I started nudge you on second point, for example. But the practice that matters here is the timing, because you need to build the habits, right? So right now you're building up the timing fundamentals. Once you have that built, then you can work on different fundamental and level that up. And once everything is leveled up, you just be a really, really solid player overall, right? And then you'll rank up, and then you'll need to work on things again and make them better than they were. And then that's gonna earn you other rank ups, right? So,
okay, we'll see.
On my end, for example, because I've swapped to a glass pad 2-3 days ago, right? A lot of my gameplay, I'm not stressing over wins or losses or positioning or timing or anything like that. I'm literally just worrying about my mechanics. I want to get used to the mousepad. So whatever happens other than that happens. And I know that that might cause me to maybe lose some rank in the short term. But if that happens, I don't really care. As long as I get used to the mousepad, then that's the objective done. And then once I feel comfortable using it, then I can move on to focusing my attention on other things again, and then suddenly my gameplay will be at a higher level than it was before, right? So yes, practice can very much feel awkward at the start, but once you get the hang of it, once you start to build up those fundamentals to a certain level, then it starts to pay off.
Okay.
Alrighty. I'm gonna move you back to the audience now for the time being. I don't know how long the workshop is gonna be, so maybe we'll be able to do another round later. But for now, who is gonna be next? Jernu, Catsquouch? Can you go? I think so. I'm gonna wait just a bit for Catsquouch to answer, but from what they said, they have time, so you were last? Okay. Let me invite you. There you go. Already have you added, so you can already queue if you want. Hello?
Hello.
Been a bit since I last talked with you. Believe a few months, right?
Yes, I've been busy and made the switch to PC.
Made the switch to a PC. That's cool. That's cool. How has that been?
Um, okay, first I had a bad setup. Then I worked a bit on my mouse control, and I've been dabbling between different characters, but I think to really get somewhere I need to specialize. So I went back to the old reliable Genji.
Alrighty. And what do you want to practice here?
I want to position better, so I'm more of a threat.
Sure. So, what do you understand about positioning with Genji? What does Genji want?
He needs to be close, but I need to make sure I don't get forced out or my uptime is cut short.
Sure. Now, I will say I wouldn't worry too much about uptime right now. The amount of uptime that you end up having kind of falls into a nice place if you just play properly without worrying about it. It's kind of the same thing as like playing to win. Playing to win is the wrong thing because sure, you want to win, but what gets you the win is not thinking about winning, it's thinking about how to play well, right? How to position, how to time your engagements, aiming well, etc. Right? So I wouldn't worry too much about uptime. If a certain matchup requires more uptime or less uptime, that's something that you're naturally going to figure out by thinking about the matchup. How do I play versus X character or X comp, right? Now, as for the other part, what you mentioned, which I think is very important, wait, what was it again? Oh yeah, not getting forced out too early. That's a very important one. So it's you're mentioning like the kind of flow of the fight where people initially they take positions, right? They claim space to set up, and then after setup, then they engage. Or if you're in defense, right, you already have the setups, but maybe your opponents are too far for you to engage. So for the time being, you just wait, you hold your space, maybe you even have to give some space, right? So there's all of this little flow of the game of like pushing and pulling that's very, very interesting about Overwatch, and I quite enjoy it. Any questions in particular about this that you would like me to talk about?
Well, how would I position against a comp that just wants to run over my team? Like Junker Queen, Lucio, and maybe a Venture.
Think about their ranges. That's a great cheat code to know where to position yourself. Just think about the range of the opponent characters. So in this comp, what's a common trend between them in their range?
Now entering
They
King's Row.
they can poke at me from mid-range, but they'll struggle to actually chase me down, I feel like.
And also, sure, they have a little bit of poke, but for the most part, they really want to be close, right? So you have a lot of like mid to long range that you can leverage, and especially your mobility allows you to position anywhere that you want, right? So just by thinking about that, you already know kind of like the angles that you can maybe take.
Much lies
So
in
you know
store.
what you want as a character,
Let us see
and then
to
by
it.
looking at what your opponents want, you can find the areas right of the map that allow you to gain an advantage over them.
It's harder to keep you
essentially.
alive when you're distracted.
So if you're playing versus close range characters, maybe leverage your range. If you're playing against long range characters, avoid the long range sidelines, close the gap on them, things like that. So I want you to, you don't have to narrate this, but what I want you to do is think about what your opponents are running, and then try to find those areas where you are the one that has the advantage, and try to position yourself there.
Commencing. Capture objective A.
Perfect.
Thank you. Much better. Forever hold your peace. Capture this territory.
That was pretty much textbook perfection until you pick the corner.
A time to heal and a time.
If you wanted to, the quick hint I could give there, just sit in the corner and taunt them to come at you, don't come at them.
Watch here.
Hello.
Hello there.
Moving the payload.
No.
Greetings. Sorry.
Many thanks. Keep an eye out.
I do not fight for myself. I do not fight for myself.
Fall back.
I never have. A sniper is nearby. Take cover. Get out of my way. I'm ready to order. Into the iris.
Negative.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
Over there. Annihilation stirs. Devour them. We will shield you for now. Why has the payload stopped? We must put them in the ground. They will be annihilated.
Do something!
Ooh. So a good try. And really good job with like the range identities. I also really like though on the first points, when you're fighting the Reinhardt, who is the only guy that's good close range in their comp, you were not trying to close the gap on him. You were staying at range where he cannot swing at you. So great job so far.
Nano boost administered.
Surrender to my will.
Warihum away.
Reinhard at your service. The payload can't stop here. There's glory on the line. Over here. Heat check. Affirmative.
No holding back. I am repaired.
Make me move it. Who needs healing?
You're a little bit stuck here and not knowing how to quite close the gap on these targets. So I'm gonna recommend a creative approach.
Finally,
That left flank is good, go deeper. Go into third point from there.
Get the payload going.
Or if you find, like, say that you're using this right side high ground, flank that instead.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
Join me.
The most important part is that I don't want you to get stuck in long range. I want you to keep trying to find ways to close the gap.
A taste of poison.
That was fine. Just messed up mechanically.
Do something!
Now, it's interesting that they now swapped Sombra because that might make your life a little bit harder on flanks. But you have the tools to beat her. So you can still flank if you want to. Just be mindful.
The payload can't stop here. There's glory on the line.
She's gonna blow.
Better. A little bit impatient, but better. You close the gap enough to be able to dash engage them.
There's more of them than us.
Nanakorobi Yaoki.
Look, if we stop, get the payload going.
My blade is ready to be unleashed. Time is running out. Strike them now.
If it's awkward walking here, find a different path. Yeah, there you go.
Surrender to my will.
Yujin no Ken wo clash into the iris. Show me what you're made.
Hammer down.
The enemy outnumbers us.
Sure. Let's leave the game and we can chat about it. Okay, how did it feel?
It was very, very awkward. They always saw it coming. They'd land a shot or a nade or a dynamite on me before it happened. Or maybe there would be too many looking at me.
Sure. One of the main areas of your gameplay that I was thinking about that was lacking and was making your life a little bit harder than it needed to be was scouting, or a lack of. You didn't necessarily know exactly where the opponents that you wanted to close the gap on were. So you were, let's say, defaulting to the left side flank when nobody was there. Everyone was using the right side high ground and just gunning down your team as they walked down the alley. So that's point number one. And then the second one is that you got a little bit too stuck on certain paths, not realizing that the enemy team is gonna adapt to your positioning. So you, without even engaging the enemy team, are gonna get value by just pushing the enemy team out of certain positions. So we saw that a little bit on first point when your whole flank caused the entire backline to push so far back they couldn't even see points. This is what caused them to end up pushing out towards you in close range because they needed to help the Reinhardt who was trying to hold points, right? So without even necessarily killing anyone, because you just threatened kills by getting close to the Widow, to the Ana, to the Zen, they were forced to back up to the point of almost giving up points. So then they have a really tough choice. Do they walk into the Genji and risk dying to fight for the points? Or do they not help the Reinhardt and just lose the points, right? It's a lose-lose situation. So there is a positioning game that goes back and forth. It's not just a single player game where you find your opponents in a certain position and then you just get there. No, you get to that point and your opponents are gonna have moves from there. Okay, so now that you did that, what's the next step? Is the next step closing the gap on them again? Or from that positioning, shooting another target, like the Reinhardt? That's something that you did a few times. You flanked the backline, forced the backline to back up. Now the Reinhardt is weak because he's not getting proper support from the backline. Now you shoot the Reinhardt. Reinhardt gets pushed back, your team moves up as a result from that. Now you flank the backline again, and your team has gained a lot of payload progress from that. So there is this constant game of like, you do this, they do that, and it's just trying to outwit your opponents, just trying to do better on the positional game, essentially. And this is where you were getting a little bit stuck on. You were doing the first steps right, but as your opponent adapted, you didn't continue adapting yourself. So they ended up finding a really good hold on second points and just stopping your team. Do you have any questions about it?
Not really, no.
Alrighty then. Something that I will quickly mention, and this applies to everyone here. One of the main purposes of the gameplay channel that I have is to provide a lot of gameplay footage that people can use to learn certain concepts. So Rust Daughter can go into my VODs and look at my timing. Look for what cues I'm using to go in, right? When am I flanking? When am I engaging, right? Etc. In your case, Jernu, you can look at my gameplay and be like, okay, how is Poke doing the all of the steps on the positioning game? Because like you are already very good at like the first steps, but what about like the last little bits, the execution part, right? Where things need to happen from those setups. How is Poke executing it, right? You can look at the gameplay, focusing on that aspect and figure that out, and then try it out yourself. That's the main purpose that I have for that channel, just providing a lot of footage that people can use to study the game. So I would highly recommend, after this workshop is done, going into there, looking at a few games, to try and figure out patterns on my gameplay that you can then use to practice on your own. Try to figure out the holes in the concepts that you're working on, okay?
Yep, sounds good.
Alrighty. I'm gonna move you back to the audience for now. I'm gonna invite Cat Squelch, and then from there we'll see if we have more time and we want to do something. I have a feeling I might do one live game myself, trying to just do a little bit of everyone's concepts, showcasing them live so that you all can ask a few questions before leaving the workshop, and then after that you can do the rest through my gameplay channel as I mentioned. Hello?
Yo. Wait, alright. I think my mic is clear.
Yep. I'm gonna increase your volume a bit, but it should be good.
Oh, wait, do what? Wait, do I gotta add you? Or
Yes, yes. I sent the battle
alright.
tag on the chat.
No, that's yeah, I got it.
Okay, okay, okay. There you go.
So like I was like mainly like thinking like my biggest problem, and it's definitely like the pre-fight, like just figuring out like what to even do like before the fight begins, and like I'll either like take damage before like I get in there and take or get value, or like I'm just in a completely bad spot. It's like if you feel me.
So this is an interesting one. This is a little bit harder, a little bit more vague for me to work with. Although I do have an idea of what I can give you to work on. But I want you to try to problem solve real quick. How can you narrow this
Okay.
down to something that you can actually work on?
Maybe cover, taking space, or like maybe letting tank walk in for a little bit, and then I make my move.
That might solve some of your issues, but you're talking about in general not knowing what to do pre-fight. So sometimes it might be covered, but what about when it isn't?
Yeah, maybe playing more on my team, maybe.
That could help.
Or
Giving yourself more time to see things before committing to a decision. But the main thing here is that like this is a broad concept, right? But we're also trying to narrow it down, so it's difficult. So what I would suggest here to work on is for you to try to find your role, quote unquote. So it's similar to Jerno. Think about your opponents. What do they want to do? For example, if they have like a dive comp, how does that change how you might want to play? Because that information, right? This is what I really like about this. You're gonna be looking for information, right? That's the most important thing. You're scouting for information. After that, I don't care what you do. You can find a million different ways to approach. Fragile backline, dive them. So you're gonna be thinking about your position, you're gonna be thinking about your timing, etc. It's hard to engage into them, you're gonna be thinking about playing more far back and maybe following up on your team, things like that, right? Lots of different ways to go about it. But this solves the issue of like that broad, but also narrow. You have a narrow question that leads you to a broad amount of outcomes, right? So analyze their comp, don't necessarily need to narrate to me, and figure out what you want to do from there.
got Winston and Farah. Maybe I'll just poke for now till they push this choke. Okay, I see Winston goes in with a bubble. Maybe I can win. Just shoot. Okay, thanks like really overextended. Then I'll maybe sneak behind you. Maybe catch someone off guard. Hopefully I can kill Liana. Okay, okay. Alright, we're out. Alright, then, oh, Farah. I was wondering where she was. I don't think we should chase that, maybe.
Not your role. I mean, your comp doesn't really have a hit scan, so maybe it's your role. Up to you to think.
Maybe I'll sneak up in the cast, cause like, yeah, seems like we're the right play. Alright, seems like, oh, just, I think I'd just maybe continue on tank. Okay, I think blading this is even that controversial.
Nah, it's a good blade. Now, here's a quick thing that I will say, right? I played against a comp that had like dual flyer against a team that did not have hit scans. So what did we do? We just rushed the 3 players that weren't on the air, and then they died off cooldown, and then the flyers could not do anything, right? This is the purpose of these questions, right? So How do you deal with the Pharah? Maybe you don't. Maybe deal with her indirectly. What about the backline? Is the backline vulnerable? With the Cassidy, maybe less so. So maybe you just shoot Winston from range, right? That's the kind of stuff that I want you to be thinking about to figure out how you want to play it.
Way back there, like not even really doing anything. Well, alright, wow. Probably. Is the Fair still back there? No way.
Yeah, she's spawn camping your job.
Oh yeah, I think, yeah, she's on the... Alright, well.
Now, I will quickly mention, I don't think it's your job to look for the Pharah unless she's really close to you. So I would rule that idea out.
Show me where you over there.
Don't. Not my job, not my job. We grab the med first.
Aww.
Alright.
But that was good. That was good. The Pharah started to get a little bit further away from you. She was gonna get the Mega too. It's not a convenient duel anymore. Who is? The Ana. There you go. That's the kind of stuff that you want. That's gonna give you guidance on your gameplay. Yeah. Here the Pharah was your job, because she was close.
Come on. Probably go supports here. Alright. Oh, she doesn't kill her.
Ah. Still a fair try.
Each journey has its trials. We must stop the payload's progress. Enemy seen. I see one.
I'll try to go for Swarm. Good.
Enemy seen.
Oh, I should have squared this.
Now, here, to me a failed fight. Reason being, you have Blade. Very important that you make it work. Very important fight to win. So you should not have been fighting and taking as many risks as you were. You should just mainly be looking to set up the Blade and make sure it is as good as possible.
Didn't pop ults there. I don't think. Try to go back line maybe. Oh, that hurts.
That was a really good play. Really, really good play.
There's an enemy here. Danke. No. Nice. I am on.
We get up the roof.
Fire. Yes.
Alright. Please.
Yeah,
Okay.
unfortunate.
Probably should be more careful.
I require aid. I am grateful.
Finally, a real challenge.
60 seconds remaining.
Maybe a push cast.
Remember, you have ult soon. Does that change how you want to think?
Okay. Yeah, probably should have not climbed that. Or maybe just stayed in there.
Maybe you play the fight slow at the start, right? Just poke a little bit from range, make sure you're very safe, and they cannot force you out. That way you make sure you farm blade. Ooh, I don't think you'll get good spawn.
Oh, we're just. It's
You're
over.
committed now.
It's over.
No, you have lifesteal. You got this.
Oh, we make it out. Oh, mercy button. From the bed. Still alive. Hopefully this soldier. Oh. I fat fingered that. I didn't mean that. I'm gonna have to blade soon. I've been holding on to this for a while.
Now think about setting up that blade.
Closer. Okay. I'll take it, I'll take
Your
it.
team probably has this now. Yeah. Okay. Still, you have blade. Gonna be last fight territory if they start to win, so always be mindful of that. You might want to play your life more.
Stay high ground.
I'm on fire.
Let me look ahead of them. Okay, so we're just I'm gonna go off this. Oh, Nano Winston.
No, that's fine. You did enough. Their ult fight
Hopefully Valk will
did
save it.
not break through your strongholds, so now you probably just win from position advantage.
Don't lose focus.
Fucking satellite vector!
Do you know they're extending?
I see one. I require healing. I thank you.
Oh, not bad.
Now, can live this, and we can quickly chat about it. This is a hard one to quantify, so you're gonna have to be as fair as possible, right? How well
Okay.
did you do on your praxis, do you think?
I noticed like I was a lot more conscious about it. I think that's probably what mattered most because I really wasn't thinking about it like initially, like before. So I would say like it was pretty good. I probably didn't make the best
How many
choices like
fights?
initially, but
Like 40%, 50%? Like, what do you think? How many fights did you properly think through to find your role, let's say?
honestly like not a lot. Probably like I just like wait until the mid game happens and like probably just like find the most vulnerable, like is what I think. Like not really much on comp or like
Mm-hmm.
map.
Mm-hmm. Sure. I think it is very valid that comp, right? Like Anna, Juno. Cassidy can make it a little bit harder, and Juno is evasive, but still, if you're well positioned, you'll try in the backline a lot. So it is a good general idea in that matchup where Fair and Winston, you're not going to interact with too much unless forced, because they're too close, right? To just default to try to be in a decent position, look for them mid-fight, right? Now, for some of the old fights, like the one I mentioned with the blade, where it was important for you to just like not take those risks. That was a problem. But then afterwards, towards the end, right, you just made sure that you had perfect setup for the blade the moment that an opportunity came for you to do it, right? And then you did. And then you ulted, and then you clutched, and that earned your team the hold, right? So this is why you would do these kinds of thinking, essentially, and more importantly, scouting for information. It's not just visible scouting, where are they, and where are we? It's also what resources does each team have? Because depending on it, if your team has good resources and they don't, you want to push. If they have big ults and you don't, maybe you have to go for like an assassination to just like upset their ult economy somehow, right? Just like try to assassinate Ana to prevent Nanoblade from happening, right? Things like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So it's gonna be hard, and this is something that, because it's so hard to quantify, you need to be very honest with yourself about the quality of your practice, because otherwise you're not gonna really be improving, right? So you need to be very aware to make sure that this is worth it, essentially. Isn't one supposed to just kite instead of assassinate? Can be an idea, right? You see this a lot in high level play, on coordinated pro play, right? Where the enemy team uses an ult like Kitsune Rush. If your team saw that coming and positioned to kite that ultimate, speed boosting out is a really good strategy, right? The reason I mentioned the assassination here is because in competitive, right, and ranked, it's gonna be much harder to do that. So it's gonna be a lot more of like, what can I do individually here? What's the best play that I have to win the fight, or just like win the game, right? So this is why I mentioned the assassination. But kiting is absolutely a viable approach, right? So many different approaches are viable. It's just important to take in information and then figure out, based on your qualities, what the best play, right? Someone like Catsquelch here, right, might prefer to be aggressive. I saw this from the playstyle. Really liked going in squishies, right? Very mechanically biased, right? Whereas Jerno prefers much more of like the strategical aspect of the game, right? So that information is something that you're already subconsciously accounting when you're viewing a situation and trying to figure out the solution. You're naturally going to look for things that you can do, that's within your skill set as a player, right? So maybe for you it's going to be kite, and for him it's going to be assassinate, right? To me, it doesn't matter what the answer is, it just matters that you're thinking about finding an answer, right? Learning the process to find the answer, essentially. And in general, like, this is a very good approach for the game, because trying to like answer things as a coach can often just lead to very poor result for your time investments, because the game is so complex, the answer differs every time. So a much more time efficient way of handling things, and also much better for the students, for them to learn, because it gives them agency, is to give them questions that are gonna serve for a lot of situations, and that allows them to figure out the solutions. And that's a much more effective way of learning, right? Rather than being given the solution, figuring out the solution yourself. So figure out your questions. Figure out your timing questions, your positioning questions, your role questions, whatever. From there, play the game. Gather up experience, and from that experience, you're gonna grow as a player and rank up. It's a simple process, it's just one that has to be repeated over and over and over again to accumulate results, right? Okay. Any questions from everyone here?
Not for me, no. I think I got my answers.
Mm-hmm. Sure, sure. Because I think that I'll be closing the workshop in a bit. No, this question is for everyone. I'm looking to close the workshop because I have some stuff to do after. So I'll just quickly round this up if anyone needs anything still, and then after that I'm gonna close the recording and post this.
I didn't ask one, Johnny, or if I'm mistaken.
Oh yeah, and if you didn't hear, what I was saying is, if you have anything that you would like me to still clarify, right? If you have any questions left unanswered, anything like that, then I can answer them real quick.
So far, none right now.
What are good perks? Every perk except for blade twisting, I think, is fine. I think blade twisting is just too weak to ever be comparable to meditation. But if you have fun with blade twisting, go for it, right? That's what matters most. If you have fun, that's what matters most, because that's something that you can stick with to practice. If there's something optimal but you cannot put in the time because you're not enjoying, you won't go far. So this is why a lot of the times the hero pool is not chosen by what's strongest, it's by what you enjoy. Because it doesn't matter if Sojourn is the most broken character in the game or whatever, if you can't stand playing her, because you won't be able to put in enough time to get good at her. Genji might be weaker than Sojourn, let's say, in a hypothetical situation, right? I don't care if that's true or not. If you enjoy Genji and you don't enjoy Sojourn, you will see more results on Genji, because you're actually going to be able to practice him. Yeah, blade twisting is more damage after dash. My personal loadout for basically every match nowadays is Swift Cuts Meditation. I really like the positional freedom Swift Cuts provides. I posted a workshop about this. I believe is the video called Season 19. I don't remember if it was titled Season 19 something or if the thumbnail showed that. But it's my impressions like the Season 19 mid-season patch. I posted that on the coaching channel. So you can find more about like why I really like Swift Cuts there and how I use it if you want. But yeah. Anything else? Or no? Or should I close this? If it's something that can be answered over text, I would prefer that as well, not to drag the recording. Mainly we're looking for quick immediate questions on the topics that we specifically worked on in this workshop. So the timing, the positioning, the whole finding your role idea.
I think everyone's pretty good, unless anyone else has
No?
questions.
Yeah. Alrighty then. In that case, that's gonna be it for this. I'll stop the recording.